Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. It's now September, and schools are back in session. However, concerns over the Delta variant has led Massachusetts to make some drastic changes in mask mandates, even for those who have gotten a vaccine. On a more positive note, I'll be talking about the Pittsfield Suns' successful season, more concerts going on in the county, and a 2021 box office report. First, it's time for this week's trivia question, which will be answered at the end of the box office report. This week's question is, what is the highest grossing box office sales in any given year and the month it occurred in? Now, for this week's local entertainment headlines. First, another important update on COVID-19 and new mask policies. The state of Massachusetts is now asking people to wear masks in indoor settings, whether they have been vaccinated or not. In fact, all counties in Massachusetts are now classified by the Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, at a high or substantial level of community transmission for COVID, hence the mandate. Dr. James Leder, the Chief Medical Officer at Berkshire Medical Center, is encouraging people to wear masks. In an interview he had with the Berkshire Eagle, he said in part, quote, "With the Delta variant in the forefront of infections across the state and country, masking while in an indoor setting makes sense and can help to spread the stem of COVID-19. Masking provides a level of protection for both those who are vaccinated to help prevent them from spreading the virus and non-vaccinated to prevent contacting or spreading it," end quote. Starting in September, those who received both doses of either the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines will be eligible for a third booster shot. Schools are also starting to make their decisions on mask mandates. Massachusetts Education Commissioner Jeff Riley issued new regulations on August 25th that require all public school students ages 5 and above, plus staff, to wear masks indoors while in school, regardless of vaccination status. This new requirement will be in place until October 1st. Masks do not have to be worn outdoors in schools, during lunches and recess, or if students are playing wind instruments during band. Additionally, anyone who is visiting indoor spaces at Berkshire Community College, or BCC, will be required to wear a face mask, regardless of their vaccination status. The college has also announced that all faculty members, staff, and students in the healthcare fields who will be working or learning in long-term care facilities, which have been devastated by COVID, must be vaccinated in full by October 10th. Up next is more local baseball news. Last week, I discussed how Berkshire County baseball teams were having a successful season. Out of all the teams, however, the Pittsfield Suns of the Futures League had the most successful season. They made the playoffs and battled throughout all their series, reaching a pinnacle that they never accomplished in their history until 2021. They lost the first game of their semifinal series against the Broxton, Massachusetts Rocks on August 14th, forcing the team to win 2 games in a row or face elimination. The Suns accomplished their 2-win goal as they beat Broxton in 2 close games on August 15th and 16th. This clinched the spot in the Futures League Championship Series, the first in Suns history. In an interview he gave to the Berkshire Eagle after the clinching game, left fielder and Pittsfield native Jack Cooney said, quote, "It's so awesome. We weren't out. We hit the ball a little bit better, and we fielded a little bit better." Pitcher Stephen Quigley pitched his butt off. "We kind of put it together tonight, and I think we're rolling into the championship series," end quote. The final series to determine the 2021 Futures League Championship was against the Vermont Lake Monsters. The Suns easily defeated the Monsters in Game 1, which was played in Burlington, Vermont, by the score of 10-2 on the strength of 3 home runs. Game 2 was a different story, however, as the Suns were crushed 12-5 at Wahconah Park. This forced a third game, winner take all. The Suns came close, but they could not pull through, as they lost a heartbreaker to the Lake Monsters, 3-2. The Suns tried to make a late rally, scoring their only 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning, but they could not finish the job. Still, in an interview with the Berkshire Eagle, Pittsfield center fielder Joel Lara stated, quote, "This team, we never fall down or bow down to anybody. We started that rally, and everyone kept passing the torch. We were going to fight to the end," end quote. WWHEN congratulates the Pittsfield Suns for their successful season. And now, an interesting story featuring a local college graduate. The Guinness Book of World Records contains some of the most fascinating records, both well-known and obscure. Recently, one Williams College graduate put her name in the books with some historic running. Beginning last year, Alyssa Clark ran a marathon distance for 95 consecutive days. Clark, who grew up in Bennington, Vermont, and graduated from Williams in 2015, lives with her husband, who works for the U.S. Navy and was stationed in Naples, Italy, when the COVID pandemic hit. She is a competitive runner, but was not able to compete in any marathons due to the pandemic. So she decided to set herself a new challenge of running the length of a marathon, which is 26.2 miles, on a treadmill every day until lockdown ended. But when it was extended, she decided to take her marathons outside. Clark wanted to run a marathon distance for 100 days in a row, but she became ill on day 95. Fortunately, it was not COVID-related. Still, she broke the previous record of 60. In a news release that she gave on the Guinness Book of World Records website, Clark, who is pictured in the center here, said, quote, "I am so incredibly thankful for the experience of running these marathons and sharing a bit of my journey with others. It truly changed my life in the most unexpected ways, and I am deeply humbled by the chance I was given to complete these marathons, end quote. Running a marathon is one of the toughest athletic events out there, so running the length of a marathon for 95 days in a row is equally impressive. Now, we will be discussing one of the local art exhibits. The Clark Art Museum is currently hosting a new exhibit called Durer and After. Because of his prolific, versatile, and technically dazzling works, painter Albrecht Dürer, one of the most famous painters during the German Renaissance, has long attracted all types of intimidators, copycats, and interpreters, some of whom are inspired by him, and some who want to steal credit for him. Durer and After will focus on the actual Dürer paintings, while also mentioning the intimidators and copycats. It will dive into why these artists choose to copy or steal from Dürer's work. The Durer and After exhibit is currently open, and it will be running until October 3rd. Museum hours are currently from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., but the library within the museum is temporarily closed. Advanced ticket purchases are required for everyone except those who are currently members of the museum. The Clark is currently requiring all visitors to wear face masks throughout the museum, regardless of vaccination status. No proof of vaccination, however, is required yet. Hand sanitizing stations are provided throughout the venue and outdoors for your convenience. If you have any questions regarding your visit, please contact Visitor Services at 413-458-2303 or email info@clarkart.edu. You can also purchase tickets by visiting clarkart.edu. Ticket prices vary depending on membership. The Durer and After art exhibit is sponsored in part by Williams College. These next few series of stories will be discussing some local concerts. First, Berkshire Theatre Group will be hosting a series of concerts at their Unicorn Theatre in Stockbridge during September. This is part of their annual Bobby's Fall Concert Series. The first concert will be from the Harlow Chamber Players. Violinist Hannah Lynn Cohen leads this group of young musicians who have attended top music conservatories throughout the United States, such as Juilliard, Harvard, and Boston University. They have also traveled the world playing with famed violinists such as Izzard Perlman and Timothy Eddy. The other concert will be Krishna Guthrie. If that name sounds familiar, it should. Krishna is the grandson of Arlo Guthrie and the great-grandson of Woody Guthrie. He incorporates elements of his heritage, but he also adds influence from his own musical generation as he carves his own legacy. The Harlow Chamber Players will be performing on September 12th, while Krishna Guthrie will be playing on September 18th. Both shows start at 2 p.m. Proof of COVID-19 vaccination is not required yet, but masks are strongly recommended for all patrons. There will be contactless ticket scanning for patrons, and hand sanitizer stations will be placed throughout the theater. To purchase tickets, please call 413-499-9997 or visit BerkshireTheatreGroup.org. Both of these shows will be taking place at the Unicorn Theatre in Stockbridge. located at 6 East Street. This show is sponsored in part by Mad Max Computers, Market 32, and Onyx Specialty Papers. We now move from concerts at the Berkshire Theatre Group to concerts at the Mahawie Theatre in Great Barrington. One of the scheduled artists will be Leslie Odom Jr. He is a singer, songwriter, author, and actor. He has won both Grammy and Tony Awards for his work in the Broadway musical Hamilton, plus additional nominations in the Emmys, Golden Globes, and Academy Awards. He was most recently seen as singer Sam Cooke in the film One Night in Miami. He will perform an evening of live music as part of the opening night at the 2021 Mahawie Gala, and it is sure to be a big concert. Leslie Odom Jr. will be performing on Sunday, October 10th at 8 p.m. To purchase tickets, visit the Mahawie's website at mahawie.org or call the box office at 413-528-0100. The box office is open in person from 12 to 4 p.m. and open for online purchases 24/7. There is a large list of rules and regulations. These include masks for those who have not been vaccinated and proof of vaccination for those who have. Also, those who have not been vaccinated must bring with them a negative COVID test that was taken 72 hours ahead of the show. Again, visit mahawie.org for the full list. Sponsors of this show include Berkshire Money Management, Lee Bank, Guido's Fresh Marketplace, and Bard College at Simon's Rock. If you're interested in getting out and about in Berkshire County while learning about our history, this next story is of interest. Berkshire Camino LLC Guided Walking Tours is sponsoring a Lenox Walkabout tour. These are 1-hour orientation tours around the town of Lenox that provide guests with some historical and cultural contexts. Stops will include places such as the Edith Wharton Mount to the Village Inn. This is a great way to learn more about the long history of Lenox, which was first settled in 1750 and incorporated as a town in 1767. Berkshire Camino Lenox tours are scheduled to go on every first Friday of the month from now until December. The one in September was on September 3rd, and the one scheduled for October will be held on October 1st. The walks will take place from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Group sizes are limited to 10 people per party. The starting point of the walk will be at Lilac Park, located near 42 Main Street in Lenox. It's now time for this week's movie news update. We are at the halfway point of 2021, and it is the perfect time for a box office review. While not as hectic as the cancellations that happened in 2020, 2021 has still been a weird year at the box office. Many of the fall movies have had to move around their release date as the Delta variant is creating chaos. And because of virus concerns, box office numbers have been lower than most years. Still, unlike 2020, we were able to have a summer box office season, and some movies did big business. Here are the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2021, in reverse order as of right now, according to BoxOfficeMojo.com. All box office results are based in the United States only. At number 10, Raya and the Last Dragon earned $54 million. Number 9, The Boss Baby Family Business earned $56 million. Number 8, Space Jam: A New Legacy earned $65 million. Number 7, The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It earned $65,500,000. Number 6, Jungle Cruise earned $84 million. Number 5, Cruella earned $85 million. Number 4, Godzilla vs. Kong earned $99 million. Number 3, A Quiet Place Part 2 earned $159 million. Number 2, F9, The Fast and Furious Saga earned $172 million. And at number 1, Marvel's Black Widow, which earned $178 million. The top highest grossing movies so far this year have many trends to them. With the exception of Jungle Cruise and Raya and the Last Dragon, all of these movies are sequels, franchise films, or remakes. It seems people like movies that they are comfortable with. Also, several of these movies had simultaneous releases on streaming services, with the exceptions of F9 and A Quiet Place Part 2. Last year, only 3 movies that were released in 2020 broke the $100 million mark, all of which came in January or February. It's still the same number this year, but the releases came out later. So Hollywood is showing some signs of life. However, the Delta variant could change how the fall season looks. So, stay tuned to WWHEN for all updates. Speaking of box office numbers, it's now time for the answer to this week's trivia question. As a reminder, this week's question was, what is the highest grossing box office sales in any given year and the month it occurred in? The answer is July of 2011. There were 191 movies in theaters that month. Combined, they made $1,349,220,000 in the box office in the United States alone. 3 movies earned over $100 million that month: Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Transformers: Dark of the Moon, and Captain America: The First Avenger. 16 other films that month earned over $10 million, most of them romantic comedies and family animated movies, as shown here. That ends this week's episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. If you would like to watch this or any other WWHEN episode again, you can visit PCTV, CTSB TV, and NBCTC's websites shown here. Also, if you would like to see the episodes in HD quality, make sure to check out my YouTube page at RT Wehry. Thank you.